offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how an eclipse works on the geocentric flat Earth model, and it can be complicated unless you understand how close the sun and moon are and how the sun and moon rotate around the geocentric flat Earth model. Okay, now NASA and science will tell you it is when the moon passes in between the Earth and the sun. Now that is true, but it's just not the way that they tell you that it is. And one of the first things that they tell you is that the sun is 400 times the size of the moon, which by coincidence makes the sun and the moon appear to be the same size in the sky at the same time. So first of all, let me take your attention to the sun and moon in the sky when there is no eclipse going on. Just your normal everyday sky. Now take a look here. Okay, here's the sun on a cloudy day, and you can see the size of it really good because the clouds are blocking the brightness of the sun, so it doesn't look so big and bright. Now let's take a look at the moon on a cloudy night. You see the similarity there? They both look identical in size. Let's go back and look at the sun again. And like I said, you normally can't see the actual size of the sun because it's so bright. But like I said here, the clouds are blocking that brightness so you can see the size of it. Check it out. Once again, the moon. Now, to the human eye, they both appear to be the same size, right? Your natural common instinct tells you that they are both the same size. Take a look again. Okay, now let's look at it from a different sky. Okay, now here's with a cell phone camera. Now we're going to zoom in on the moon. Okay, now that's as far as this cell phone will zoom in. Okay, now let's go back over here and zoom in on the sun. Okay. Now as you see, with the same zoom on the sun and the moon, they both appear to be the same size in the same sky at the same time. Okay, now let's flip to the scripture of Enoch. Now let's flip over here to chapter 72, verse 37. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night, and his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal. Now let's flip over here to chapter 78. Okay, these are the two great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. Imagine that. So when you look up into the sky and your common sense and your instincts tell you that they both are the same size, it's because they are. Okay, now that you understand that, let's use the 2017 total eclipse to demonstrate to you how this takes place on the geocentric flat Earth. Okay, remembering that the sun and moon are the same size, we're going to use this side light on this flashlight, which happens to be the same size as this penny. So the penny is going to represent our moon, and the flashlight is going to represent our sun. So let's move our sun source in local as it would be on a flat Earth. Now let's see how the eclipse works with the moon passing right underneath the sun. And there you have your corona. Imagine that. Now, didn't that look identical to the 2017 eclipse? Let's compare the 2017 eclipse with what the demonstration that I just showed you. As you can see, like I said, it is identical. Okay, now that you understand that part of the eclipse, let me show you how this takes place on a flat earth. Okay, the sun and moon are like the minute and the hour hand on the face of a clock, pretending that this face of this clock is the face of the flat earth, with the sun being the minute hand and the moon being the hour hand. The sun will eventually pass over the top of the moon, just like the minute hand will eventually pass over the top of the hour hand, causing what we know as an eclipse, as you can see here.
In just a few hours, the moon will pass completely in front of the sun, that event called totality, casting a shadow about 70 miles wide. The so-called path of totality spanning 14 states from Oregon to Charleston, South Carolina, where we find world news tonight.
Now I'm going to show you how the eclipse went from the west coast of Oregon to the east coast of South Carolina. Remembering that the sun rotates clockwise in a circuit around the flat earth disk. Okay, now we're going to use the penny once again as our moon, and I'm going to show you how this eclipse took place. Now right here you can see the west coast of the United States, and you can see the east coast, and you can see the moon over the top of the United States. Now watch what happens as the sun passes over the moon. Now remember how everybody wondered how the eclipse went from the east coast to the west coast? Like that right there, only on a flat earth.
All I'm offering is the truth.